How about the volcano? So I'll tell you, climbing that volcano was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've done some difficult things, uh, but though it was, I found it extremely difficult. There were people way ahead of me. There were people way behind me. I was like somewhat in the middle of the pack, if you recall. But you was all the way in front. You was with the experienced hikers. So, but talk to me. How was hiking Acatenango for you and that experience?
Honestly, I'd have to say it's one of the hardest hikes I've had to do in my life. Growing up in Canada, we have tons of hikes, but nowhere near that kind of elevation. Altitude sickness was a huge factor for a lot of
Yeah,
people. You
somebody
know,
went somebody went down. We got him back, but yeah, it's funny you say that because I'm not a hiker at all. Like that's probably maybe like the fifth or sixth hike I've ever done, and definitely nothing to that altitude. Um, do you hike often? Can you compare that to some of like some other hikes that you've been on in other countries?
to be honest, I that was the first time I did a really serious high elevation hike in a foreign country. Here at home, I've done plenty of hikes in the parks. The Strathcona Park. I've been to remote areas like Della Falls in Canada, one of the tallest waterfalls in the country. But never was I ever challenged to go as high as almost nearly 4,000 meters above sea
Yeah,
level. And some people we were talking to on that hike, they were taking acetazolamide, they were taking anti-altitude pills, they were
yeah,
prepared, they maxed out some drugs just to
yeah,
proactively treat the altitude sickness. And um, when you start getting into medications for just even hiking, just to get you through it, that's entirely a different level of hiking. So, yeah, I was charging up the hill, but I was gassed. I
your
was gassed.
gas.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes me feel better. It was so cold at the top too. I thought just being above the clouds for me was like the coolest part. The first day we got up there and it was like the sun was setting and yeah, just sitting right above the clouds, I thought and you couldn't see the volcano, but you could hear it. And I think that was the most nerve-wracking part of being at the top is not seeing the volcano, but hearing it in all its roaring glory. So tell me, would you think of the volcano? Was it like how you anticipated it, or is that your first volcano?
that's my first active volcano I think I've
Uh,
seen. I mean, Acatenango,
yeah,
thankfully dormant, but right across the way, Mount Fuego or Volcano
Fuego.
Fuego,
Yes,
Fuego erupting. I had never heard anything like that. It was like thunder on steroids.
it was like thunder in bass, like the subwoofer's like right behind you at all times. But the mountain, though we could see it, it was pretty far away or close. I don't even know how close they were in comparison, but either way, like you could see it clearly, but it was almost like I could feel it in my chest. It was
I felt the ground shaking. I felt a vibration in my feet every time that volcano went off and lava was spewing out in the air. And it sounded
yeah,
like it could have been an explosion. I've never heard one of those, but
yeah. It's like in hindsight, I would I don't know, knowing what I know now. If I hike that volcano again, definitely like a once in a lifetime experience for me. But something I definitely and the thing about the volcano as well is there are people, all different types of people on the mountain in terms of like athleticism. Like I think even a couple people are like chain smoking up the mountain. So I feel like it was though it was difficult, it's definitely doable at your own pace kind of thing.
oh, absolutely.
So after